Today we're going to learn how to add cool harmonies and tons of grips, Wes Montgomery style, to a static dominant chord. You can use it in a funk setting, in a blues setting, whatever, but it's going to make you look like a jazz fucking genius. So let's go. Let's play over a G7. Let's say it's a blues kind of thing. If you're just inverting the notes of G, meaning G, B, D, and F, you get these sounds. The mistake people make is using the chord tones as their harmonic source material. It's too on the nose. It's too happy in a weird way. It doesn't sound bluesy. So you want to find the color tones. You do that by using upper structure. Now, the easiest way to think about it is think about the relative 2 chord. If you think off the 5th, if you're in G mixolydian, think D minor, D Dorian, right? The chord that's the 2 minor of the scale. Now you have 2 chords in there. You have D minor 7 and D minor 6. The reason that works is because they are the upper structures of G. D minor 6 is the same as B minor 7 flat 5, and D minor 7 is the minor chord built off the 5th. What are upper structures? Well, if I'm building in a mode from the root, the way I get chords is stacking thirds. If I stack 4 of them, in mixolydian, I get G7. G, B, D, F, 1, 3, 5, flat 7. That's G7. If I go and add another third and eliminate the first third, I get a different structure. When I name that structure, that's the upper structure. As long as it doesn't have a void notes, I can use it. And in blues, that's what we do. So the first upper structure, B minor 7 flat 5, is an inversion of a chord called D minor 6. They have the same notes, B, D, F, and A. If B is the tonal center, it's called a B minor 7 flat 5. If D is the tonal center, it's called a D minor 6. Now there's a relationship between these 2 chords, and if I make this chord into a minor 7, then there's a relationship between the D minor 7 and the F6. Meaning D minor 7, which is D, F, A, and C, has the same notes as F6. Now, why is that so important? Because that pair of chords, D minor 7, D minor 6, has that Wes Montgomery sound. That 2 chords where a little bit changes and it really sounds hip. Over that G note, I have D minor 7 to D minor 6. Next inversion. Next inversion. Just 1 note moving, that C goes to B. So that's something worth practicing. Hear that sound? Cool. So those are nice places to land. They're colorful. They add this layer of excitement to the music that's way better than going like... right? You got this little movement. Now, another thing you can do is when you get to that D minor 7, which is F major 6, with some of the inversions, it's nice to turn that into an F major 7. Specifically that root position and second inversion. The other 2 sound funny in drop 2s, but this one sounds really great. Right here, you get this. That's a sound that you hear a lot in the context of that G. Cool. Now, another thing that's really cool is that you can lead into those sounds with diminished chords. Now, what does that mean? Well, if I map out drop 2s of, let's say, the B minor 7 flat 5 up the neck, remember that this is the sound. Sometimes you want to sing the bass to just associate to the right place. So let's add diminished chords in between them to connect the sounds. So think about this D minor 6. I want to lead into it with a diminished chord, a fully diminished chord, meaning C sharp diminished, going to D minor 6. But I want to do that with every inversion of it. So E diminished going into the next inversion, right? This is D minor 6 with F in the bass, or B minor 7 flat 5 with F in the bass, however you want to think about it. Then I have this G diminished leading me here. And finally this B flat diminished to B minor 7 flat 5. Okay, let's connect all of that and listen to what it sounds like over the G. You've heard Wes Montgomery play shit like this. That's all that is. I'm leading with a diminished into that substitution. So let's take a look at the scale this is coming from. This is something that Barry Harris refers to as the minor bebop scale, or the minor 6 diminished off the 5th. Why off the 5th? Well, I'm in G7, but I'm thinking about D minor 6 and its diminished chord. Now, this gives me a type of mode. Like if I look at all of these notes that I'm getting from the perspective of G, what do I have? Well, it's really a G Lydian dominant, meaning 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, flat 7, with an added sharp 2. That's the scale. So inside it, I have a major blues scale. 1, 2, sharp 2, 3, 5, 6. But I also have a sharp 4, no natural 4, and a flat 7. Now, inside that structure, I also have all of the harmony of D melodic minor. It's just like D melodic minor when I add its flat 6, or G Lydian dominant when I add its sharp 2. So now that tells me that I have these chords in it. I have a D minor, an E minor, an F augmented, a G dominant, an A dominant, a B half diminished, and a C sharp half diminished, or C sharp Hendrix chord. That's the harmony of D melodic minor. Okay, so I have a G7, but I also have all these diminished chords, meaning C sharp diminished, E diminished, G diminished, and B flat diminished. So wait a second, I have G diminished and G7? Yes, and that's the point. This is why it's so rich. So now I have this G7 and this G diminished. From the perspective of G, I have 1 diminished, flat 3 diminished, this chord which is sharp 4 diminished, and 6 diminished. So I can resolve them into those B minor 7 flat 5s. That gives me the minor bebop scale. I can resolve them into D minor 7s. That gives me the major bebop scale a whole step down, right? So I'm just thinking about that F6 that we talked about, the substitution built off the flat 7, but now I'm looking at its major bebop scale. This is like what Barry Harris calls the 6 diminished scale. But on that G, I'm looking at D minors, D minor 7s or F major 6s, and those G diminished, B flat diminished, C sharp diminished, E diminished chords. So that sounds like this. Why does that work? Well, anytime I hit those D minors, it's like a sus chord. Anytime I hit those diminished, it's a bluesy sound because it gives me the root, flat 3, flat 5, and 6, which are all bluesy notes. Okay. So now I have these two scale systems to play with, but I also can just go G diminished to G7. G7, boring old G7, it's not going to sound so boring when it's coming from that G diminished, meaning if I go... You hear all these sounds? So they all come out of this weird scale system. So again, you could just think about these upper structures and then approaching them with their own diminished chords. So here are some cool movements that you could do using this kind of thinking. Another thing you can always do is approach the diminished of the one with another diminished, which gives you whole half diminished. So if this is my 1, flat 3, flat 5, and 6 diminished, I can just approach them by a half step with another diminished harmony. And then resolve it back to a G7. I can also resolve them to that minor 7 flat 5 substitution. That sounds like this. If you guys dig this stuff, please join our Patreon. Leave a comment below for a chance to win a free month on our Patreon, the best Patreon on earth, the mega Patreon, the one that dwarfs all other Patreons. We slaughter them in their sleep. And leave a comment, tell a friend, tell your grandma about the channel, hit the like button, and we'll see you next time.